Hello, how are you guys? So I'm just gonna take a minute and share this live stream. If you're able to join, karibu sana. My name is Marian Mikali. I will be sharing and then we can continue, right? Hi, wonderful people. Is there someone joining me? Can you say hi? So I'm taking a minute. I want to share with a few people so that we can begin. Yeah? Hi, wonderful people. So I'm giving myself a few minutes because I want to know who is online, okay? I'm also tuned in so that I can follow and know what is going on. Yeah, so that I can see some of the things that are going on with the live. Hi guys, is there anybody who is joining? Yeah, so I'm giving us a few minutes so that we can have at least a good quorum and then we begin. So don't think I'm ignoring. I'm just waiting, okay? Hi, somebody. Hi. I want us to begin because I feel like if we wait too much, people might not show up, and it's going to be a very bad thing. And I want to make sure that we are done in good time. Okay. So we are going to begin. As you guys have read my description, I'm talking about your mindset is leaking revenue. Why am I saying it is leaking revenue? Please stay tuned because we need to make sure that we learn and we understand why I'm saying that. Okay, so how do you also unlearn societal's hidden scripts? And that is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm sure that it's going to be very instrumental for you and for me because we are going to learn these things and we're going to improve our lives. Okay, I want to begin by saying that it is so funny, but first and foremost, welcome to this particular platform. My name is Marian Mikali Nongo, and I'm so excited that you guys are able to join me. Okay, I'm so excited that today I have quorum. If it is your very first time to be in this our channel, kindly consider subscribing. We are a channel that talks about personal growth, and it is our mandate to make sure that you grow on a personal level. No one will achieve anything if they don't believe in themselves, and if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't work on yourself, then it's not going to be possible for you to achieve anything. It is not going to be possible for you to enjoy life as you ought to. So as a page and as a YouTube channel, our work is to ensure that you are growing. Okay, so consider subscribing. We call ourselves the growth space, and it is our desire that we all rise together. No one needs to compete over resources or anything. And I feel like my lighting is bad. Can you give me a minute? I work on it and then we continue. Okay, just 1 minute. I feel like it's a bit low. Let me raise it so that you guys can see me properly. Okay, and also get to, yeah, I feel like it's much better. Is it? Yeah. Okay. So, what am I talking about when you need to unlearn this kind of limiting beliefs? I have done a video before about limiting beliefs. So, limiting beliefs for someone who has never thought about it, never heard about it. What we're saying about limiting beliefs is that something that you believe that is limiting you, limiting your potential. And of course, majority of us are coming from backgrounds. Do you know majority of the things we know we are taught? Sindio, all of us have been born in a family where there are probably things that we believe. Your parent has always probably insisted that they want you to become a particular person, and you grow up with that socialization to a point that you are not very sure what my parent probably was saying or what my parent was. You cannot question what your parent was talking about or what they taught you when you were younger. Sindio? So when we're talking about limiting beliefs, these are some of the things that we're talking about when we are talking about you have a limiting belief. Okay, so welcome to the growth space. We are going to start there, and today we want to, of course, talk about hard truths. Most of us are stuck because you do. It's not like you lack talent. The thing is, you are not sure how to do things. Your guidance probably is a bit shaky. You're stuck because you are running a 2026 life, but you're using a 1990 something mental software that was instilled inside of you by either your parent, by your guardian, by your grandmother. Unfortunately for us that were raised by grandmothers, our moms were not able to take care of us. You see, so we are working with the night affects us and it affects our productivity. Okay, because we are limited, right? So today I want us to update our mental software. That is the reason why we are doing this particular video. We want to update our mental software. Okay, I need you to change the way you think about things, not necessarily change you, not necessarily affect anything concerning you, just change your mental software. Okay. In growth management, we look for like things like we call leaks, and then we start to address them. Leaks are places where we have your energy and your resources being wasted, and that is happening because the biggest leak we have in our lives right now is the limiting beliefs that we have believed, and they really affect us. So that is why I'm talking about our resources are leaking. Okay. There are hidden scripts today, of course, that society handles and hands to you. There is what you have been taught, there is what you have grown up knowing. But now I want us to audit some of those scripts. The things that you believe in, the upbringing you are brought up with. I want us to deconstruct some of those things and rewrite the code of success again. If there's something that I have learned about Africans, let me start there. I'm Kenyan. For those that probably are joining from different parts of the world, I'm Kenyan, and apart from the fact that I'm Kenyan, I'm also Kamba. And if there's a limiting belief that affects Africans, is, have you ever guys heard of this? That once you start making money, everyone thinks that you're involved in witchcraft. Or probably if you are a believer and a Christian, we want to think of God did this for us, right? So that is something that we believe in. But it's so unfortunate because even when God probably promotes you, even when you also have your hard work there and you're working your ass off, we are gonna come and tell you on your face that you're worshiping the devil, that you're Illuminati. That's why you are probably prospering. We don't first and foremost take time to consider that this person has actually put effort in what they are doing. They're probably good at their craft. Those are not things that come easy for a lot of Africans. Okay, we will tend to think instantly that this person is using witchcraft, that is why they're successful. But then when someone talks about witchcraft and someone being in Illuminati, my question usually is, when they were suffering or when they were going through the process of learning whatever skill or talent or whatever it is that they're learning, that now there are gurus are doing, why were we not there saying that they were serving the devil? That's why the devil probably was tormenting them, and that's why they are poor. So I'm just leaving that there so that you guys can unpack and see how our software and our mental software needs to be changed or to be updated. Cindy, okay. While we are having this conversation, I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation or in a circumstance where the way you value or see things isn't, of course, the way other people see them? And then once you get into an environment, I'm going to use an example. So when I got into the acting space, I was very churchy, and when I say churchy, I mean I was so used to church things. I wasn't used to having a lot of people, now not people, but I wasn't used to showing off skin. I wasn't used to some type of language that is used in the media space. I wasn't used to a lot of things. Okay, so I was very grounded. I was very shield and very guarded. Okay, and then I go to the media space, and oh my goodness, you get there and everything is allowed. The scripture of everything is permissible, everything is acceptable, works. And they don't finish the scripture and say that none of it is profitable. Then they are like, everything is permissible. So a lot, or around me, I'm seeing a lot of immorality. I'm seeing a lot of things that I wasn't really used to. And this is what happened. First and foremost, I had a shock. Like, I had a reality shock, because I was like, wait a minute, does this really happen? Do people behave like this? I have had stories, but now I'm witnessing it, where you come, you see producers sleeping left and right with their actors, and the actors are easily doing it because they want the roles, and sometimes they get the roles, sometimes they don't, but at the end of the day they have compromised. And these are things that are now I'm coming to a realization that actually this thing is not a joke, this thing is true, people actually do this for money. And it's such a shocker for me. Now this is immediately I begin the I get into the industry. So I stay a bit and I'm starting to get used to whatever is happening. So the girl that was not wearing so skimpily, was very decent, now is entertaining the thought of actually having a shorter dress. I'm entertaining the thought of probably it's not bad for one or two things. I didn't go wild or too wild, but there were things that initially when I was starting out I wasn't very comfortable with. But with the more I stayed in the environment, the more I stayed in that space, they became okay, they became acceptable. And when I am talking about this, I mean that because there was what I was used to. It's like a script. There's what I was working with, and then I'm coming to a new place and things are different, and now I have to unlearn a lot of things and to relearn. Does it mean that majority of us, when we get to new spaces, we won't change, or we can't, or we are staunch? I believe in values, and that is why I usually talk about maintain your core values. There's what my grandmother taught me. As much as I got into the industry and I saw how bad the entertainment industry is and a lot of promiscuity, there are things probably I wouldn't have indulged in, but now I started to understand people and I was like, okay, she has every right to do whatever. It's her life at the end of the day, it's not mine, right? And you become a bit more lenient and a bit more understanding, but initially that wasn't the case. So when I'm talking about us updating our software, those are some of the things that I'm talking about. I'm talking about, can we have conversations where we actually talk about some of the things that are not very useful, and probably learn things that will help you and I to grow ourselves so that we can become better individuals in terms of just doing whatever that we need to do. Okay, so I will start by what is a hidden script. Sawa sawa. So a hidden script, think of it as a background processor of your computer, and the computer in this case is your brain. You don't see it, but it's eating up all your RAM. Okay, so there is a background process that is happening that of course is eating up some of your RAM. Okay, so society, for example, says success requires burnout, and the script, if it's not if you the script now that you will be having is, if I am not exhausted, then I am not working hard. Sindio, because the society has told us that for you to actually be successful, you need to experience burnout. And burnout is when you feel like you've overworked until like, I'm tired, I can't do this. It's about working hard and not smart. So that is success according to society. So naturally, when you don't feel like you're tired, then, or you're not exhausted, then according to you, you're not successful. So you are working extra hard for you to be tired so that you can believe that, by the way, you know what, I need to experience burnout for me to say that I am successful. And some of you, it's so unfortunate that you will actually attain success because you're working smart, but because the society is still insisting on burnout, because you haven't experienced burnout according to you, you won't consider yourself successful. Yet you have attained what other people would probably desire, yet you've attained what another person would envy, but according to you, it's not success because you are yet to experience burnout. Yeah, so that's what we are talking about when we're talking about a hidden script. When society says don't stand out too much, because when you do that, the script now says that safety is found in conformity. It's about you conforming to the patterns that are there. It's about you blending in. It's about you sticking in. Instead of you just being outstanding, you just want to blend in. Why? Because society says so. Yeah, so when society says wait for your turn, what is society really telling you when society is saying wait for your turn? It says that I need external permission for me to actually lead. Yeah, when you're telling me wait for my turn, what are you telling me? And majority of us believe these things. Okay, so I call all of these things that are happening systemic constraints. It's a system that is constraining you, that will hinder you from achieving things that you ought to achieve. Guys, I've waited for 7 years for me to actually open up a production house. It is a dream I had. It is a vision that was inside of me, something that I really loved to do. I went and saw another person running his production, and he was doing such a good job. It wasn't a big place, but he was doing massive things. And I wanted, I desired, and I knew that this is something that I want to do. But because of believing what society says, that wait for your turn, it's like it's not instant for you to do it. You need to wait. You need to like follow a particular process. You need external permission from people, from pastors, from whoever, for you to actually be able to do something. And when I'm talking about wait for your turn, I remember there was this particular time that the Lord told me to do something. I have a prayer channel. If you are here and you also love prayer, you can consider subscribing to that. It's Prayer Beyond Borders. So when I was in my time of prayer and intimacy, I had taken a lot of time out because I was feeling super exhausted when it comes to matters God. I feel it's because I was going through a hard season, and because of that, I experienced some form of disconnect. So when I was reconnecting and now finding my way back to God again, I remember that there was this urge and this feeling to want to now open up the YouTube channel and work with others like myself that were probably struggling with prayer. Okay, and probably having conversations or just being intimate with God and allowing Him to be your friend. And when we started that, or when I started that, I was so scared because in my head I was like, no, my pastor has not given me permission. I'm waiting, probably at some point in my life, maybe they will see me and they will anoint me as pastor, then it will make sense, probably. Or if they give me a ministry to head, then it will make sense because other people will also believe in me. But then I asked myself, this systemic constraint that I am waiting for, at someone has to tell me so that I can actually become, or someone needs to lay hands on me so that I can actually do it. I was like, between God and men who speak. And I'm not saying that you do not need anointing or you do not need someone to actually bless you. I'm not saying that you cannot use mentors or you don't need them or you don't need their opinions. They really matter. But I feel like some systemic constraint, not all of them, some of them are good because they help you not to rush too quickly, not to make the wrong decisions, quote unquote. So I'm talking about the systemic constraints that will hinder you from actually becoming who you're supposed to be. And this is the question that I want to ask everyone that is watching me. When you don't question these things, you are not really living, are you? Because you see, imagine if you have to wait, just seated there waiting for someone to come and tell you it's okay, it's time. It's gonna be a while, right? Because everyone is busy doing their thing, everyone is busy manifesting whoever God called them to be. If I was to wait for someone to actually come and tell me it's now time for you to create content, I will miss out on the opportunity to do what I am meant to do. And people who are supposed to probably be impacted by my decision to actually decide to do content creation will miss out on the benefits that probably I would have brought in their lives because I have delayed to do my assignment. Are you guys getting where I'm coming from? So you're living a script written by people who don't even know your goals, and that is why I'm calling it systemic constraints. It's true, there are things that you will have to follow protocol and wait for people to actually validate you, to actually direct you and lead you, but I don't feel like it should be concerning everything, because sometimes if we wait too much or too long, those that we are waiting to notice us might never notice us, and then that of course will take a lot of time for you to manifest. Yeah, so when we're talking about learning, most people focus on learning, but in a fast paced world, the real competition advantage is unlearning. Okay, all of us are busy trying to learn, to learn, to learn, to learn, to learn. We go to new environments, and what we say, where when you are with the Romans, do what the Romans do, right? Do well. Yeah, what happens in Rome stays in Rome. But while you are in Rome, act like the Romans, right? But why is that? It's because your brain has a limited capacity. If your mental space is occupied by the belief that, for example, money is the root of all evil, or I'm not a tech person, there is literally no room for you to make strategies that will make you wealthy or are tech savvy. Every time when you hear anything to do with tech, because you have shut your mind and you're like, I'm never, I'm not a tech person, so of course that will limit you. So when it comes to probably dealing with AI, and that is what currently right now everyone is using AI. I remember when I started content creation, I used to take so much time. It felt like a punishment. I used to take so long to do research because I'm learning from all places I can go to do research. I'm taking time to read here, I'm taking time to read there, just to compile a video that will probably take 15 minutes. Yeah, and it was very tasking, it was very heavy, it was a lot. And then I remember at that time I wanted to do probably when I was shooting, I wanted to do like 2 3 videos at the same time, and it was very 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 hard. Okay, because remember, before I do the research, then I write it down, then I also take time to understand it, and then I come before you guys to present it. It really really required a lot from me, so it felt like it was really eating me up. So when AI, now I discovered AI. At that time I think AI was there, but I wasn't very open to it. So now that there is AI, I can actually do, like, I know what I want to talk about because I have studied my course. I did psychology, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to people. But then it makes it easy. Now I don't have to strain so much. I don't have to like use so much time to like I can go everywhere researching. Does it mean that the knowledge that I receive, I take it as 100% truth? No, I also go ahead and now do a bit of research, which of course is very helpful. But then what am I telling you guys? What I'm saying is that majority of us have limited our capacity to think and to allow ourselves to actually exercise mental liberty by unlearning some of the things we have learned, because we are scared of what might happen. We are scared of becoming better. We are scared. Do you know, a lot of us, as I'm speaking right now, you are actually scared of success. You are actually scared of being wealthy. You are actually scared of being popular. And sometimes popularity comes from the aspect that you're actually doing something good, and because you don't want to stand out, as I started by saying, you want to settle, you want to be okay with being ordinary, then you do not want to actually be outstanding, and you are locking yourself, you are staying there with whatever you learned and whatever you have been taught as the truth, and it can never be a lie. So it is high time that we take ourselves out of what we have learned and begin to unlearn things. If your mental space is occupied by beliefs that are hindering you from becoming who you are, then there is literally no room for you to actually do strategies and become a better person. As I have talked about, if you believe money is the root of all evil, tell me how you are going to work hard so that you get money if you believe that money is the root of all evil. Exactly, you won't put as much effort for you to become successful, because according to you, people who have money are proud, are whatever that you feel they are, and you don't want to be that. I'm going to give you an example, because me, I use my own examples because I have been there and I'm also unlearning. Okay, so it's not like I'm attacking you, I'm also in a space where Marion, you need to deal with you. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. When I was in class, was it 7 or 8 thereabout, my shosho was coming to Nairobi to meet one of her children. Okay, and because I think we had closed school. I was a bit conversant with Nairobi, and like she was going to meet one of her children, okay? And they were wealthy. And then that particular child that she was going to meet, now my auntie has was having a meeting with her auntie, okay? So the auntie, and how am I going to express this? So it's like my shosho who is a sister to my grandfather. Okay, so she's my shosho and an auntie of mine who is a child of my shosho that were having a discussion somewhere, and then I was taking my shosho to go and meet them. Guys, these are among the wealthiest people in our family, and there's a way they carry themselves. Everyone that is wealthy, of course, I've worked for my money, I'm gonna be a bit proud, okay? So let's not act like they shouldn't be proud. They should, because that is something they have worked hard for. As much as, yeah, we at that time when we don't have money, we feel like you guys are bragging. But guys, let them brag. They have worked hard for that money, unless they stole it. But if they have really put work to it, I think if I am going to get money because I have worked hard, I'm going to be very proud. I'll be happy. Like, Marion, you've done well. You have come out of poverty, and it's because you have worked smart, it's because you've worked hard, it's because you are strategic. I'm going to feel some type of way, I'm going to feel nice, okay? But that is not the point of the conversation. So they were doing very well. And I remember my shosho and I, because it was raining, and then I feel we were dirty. So we met them, and I remember one of them, I'm not sure which one because I was a bit young, but now I carried as a blame for rich people. Okay. So one of them told us that you cannot enter in our car because you're dirty. And then they took the newspapers, and they were now putting them on their mats, because they're like, we will dirtify the mats of their car, we will make it messy. The truth is, we had dirty feet. It was raining, it's muddy, we will collect mud, we are walking like heck, right? But then it got so personal. I felt so bad, and I was like, rich people are mean. I never want to be wealthy. If this is wealth, I don't want it. Okay? Because these people are nasty. I was in class 7. Let me tell you the truth. It took me a lot of effort to change my mindset. Why? Because I was like, you know what? What is the need of working hard to become like them? Right? I very rude, so I'm not going to work hard, right? That was now how I was perceiving the situation. But was that the truth? Is that the truth of every person that is wealthy? No. And I hated wealthy people. I hated associating with wealthy people just because of that encounter. Let's digress and just look at it from now as a grown ass woman. Forget the child that I was. The truth is, you have dirty feet. Majority of the time when it rains, even now, yeah, when you have your car, you want to just put the newspapers to try and manage the mud situation, because once the interior of the car is messed up, then it's going to be very expensive to probably clean and maintain. And maybe you don't have the time to do that, because doing the interior also is a bit expensive as compared to washing the exterior. Senior. So probably that is what they meant when they were like, let us put for you newspapers, because we're thinking this guy is going to be dirty, you guys are. And we were very muddy. I promise you, we were dirty. So this guy is going to get messed up, and probably I don't have time to clean the interior, and or I am going to somewhere else and I don't want it to be that messy. So that was probably the reason why they told us whatever they told us. But because I was a child, my thinking was also limited. I narrowed it down as rejection, because I was a child looking up to them, and I felt like they were rejecting me and my grandmother. And I hated them, and I hated that society, and I didn't want to work hard to get there. I'm book smart, I am smart as well in terms of life. I think I can manage and make money if I want to. But then for the longest time, I haven't been doing that, not because I hate wealth, but because I hate rich people and I don't want to be a rich person. We're together. So is that not a limiting belief? It limited me for so long. It is now taking time for me to actually unlearn. And I'm like, wait a minute, these people are not mean. And it's okay for them to brag. Even if they do, it is fine. They worked hard for their money. It is none of my business how they made their money. But because they have worked hard, let them enjoy their wealth. Let them have those meetings and do those parties and invite me or limit whoever is supposed to be limited because it's their event, guys. So me, I always had issues with wealthy people. And I remember, because of course we are coming from a poor background. For people who know Nairobi, so we were living at that particular time in Huruma in a single room. What normally you guys call what do English people call it? A bed sitter is a what? Is that okay? You guys can comment down below. But it was a single room where the toilets we share with other residents out there. So it's a really a single room. That's where we're living. So again, my shosho now, the wealthy one, who is the sister to my grandfather, had a wedding for one of our daughters, right? And she sent an invite and she told my mother, the invite is for you. The children are invited for the wedding procession, but for the reception, there are no kids allowed. It is written in the invite. So my mom, being my mom, she's like, let's go to the wedding. But now my auntie is her auntie is my shusho. She's very wealthy. Her circle is of the elites, right? I remember when I went for that wedding, it was the first time I met like 3 or 4 members of parliament at that particular time because we used to call them members of parliament. I don't know if they're still MPs, yeah. And they were they like that wedding was a big thing, okay? So those were the caliber of people that were coming to the event. So when it is written no kids, they actually mean it. And this is what they did. Even the kids of the bride attended the church wedding, and then they were all gathered and they were taken somewhere in a bouncing castle somewhere, I think somewhere, not in the same venue, guys, where the reception was. So here is my mother, who is from the ghetto, thinking that everyone should come and come the way they want, and she carried me. So here I am. Already I am offended with the first incidents that happened when I was 7. I was in class 7, or was I 7? I don't remember. So now this is another incident, and imagine, guess what? I was not allowed to enter. I was told stay outside. My mom said she's gonna go in, go call her auntie, so that they can see if they can allow me to enter. She actually thought that I could not enter because she did not RSVP. But then the truth is, I wasn't allowed because kids were not allowed. There were no kids in that wedding. I was the only one. My mother had decided she's gonna carry me, and I went and I was feeling so bad. Now, because of the background, because I was coming from a place where it's confined, my reasoning is very limited. And I know if you're poor, if you're coming from a humble background, you will always feel intimidated because these people that are coming from whichever society, you feel like they are better than you for some reason. You don't know, but it just feels that way. Cindy, yeah. So that is how I'm feeling. And then I am rejected and I'm told, hey, you baby, go and stay outside. While I was staying outside, I'm seeing cars, yeah. Now the members of parliament we're talking about, they are rolling in, coming to my, who is she now? Because I think she's my auntie, yeah. They're coming to my auntie's wedding, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm so amazed, but at the same time, I'm so upset. I'm like, they refused. They didn't want me to enter. So my mom just got food, brought me food outside the dome because it was a very beautiful, beautiful setup. And I ate the food and I went back home upset again. It added to my insults. and it added to my hatred of rich people. So why would I want to work hard and be rich and be that snobbish and refuse kids from going to weddings, And that was my thinking. And it has taken, I promise you. And then every other thing that I have gone through, sometimes it's not even personal. People just talk to you, and because they are wealthy, because you feel like, oh, you're talking to me like that because you're wealthy. I continued hating wealthy people. That was a software I was putting inside of me. Of course, it is taking so much of my space that I cannot accommodate room for, like, or tolerate the thought of, Marion, you need to work hard and be wealthy. Because now I hate wealthy people. I remember the first time I went to my church, I went to JCC Parklands. Oh my God, I felt like everyone was bragging because those people are very loud when it comes to possessing wealth and being wealthy and even manifesting it. As much as it hasn't manifested, I was like, I'm done. You guys are just too much. So because I was going to church with my mom and I'm young, I can't say I'm not going. I would go and then look for, there's a particular place in Parklands, on the second floor. I used to sit somewhere alone at the corner there where there's only one seat. Whether the church is empty and we came early, I don't want to sit in front, I don't want to sit in the middle. I would always climb and go and sit alone. Imagine that kind of mindset. Why? Because I feel all of you are wealthy, all of you are doing okay. That's why you're bragging. I don't want. And because, of course, in church, we are always told, say hi to your neighbor. Me, which neighbor? Why should I say hi to you and you're bragging there because you feel like you're wealthy? That was a mindset. It took time to actually unlearn the fact that, by the way, you know what? It's actually okay to be wealthy. When you have money, it answers to problems, right? So we need to get wealthy. Marion, amuka, work, get money, solve problems so that you don't maintain your mentality of staying in the ghettos. Get out of the ghettos, okay? And it took a lot, right? Well, bado niko block. I haven't really, like, gotten where I want to get, but I thank God that my mind is changing. And you need to be in that space as well. I know that you might be going through whatever. You might actually be socialized, but do not let it limit you. Sawa sawa, because we are talking about unlearning those behaviors and those things that we learned based on our situations or whatever. Sawa sawa, we need to unlearn. So today I'm going to talk about how we are going to deconstruct the scripts that we have. Okay, now I'm talking to everybody because all of you have your own scripts, right? For mine, it was the hatred for rich people and being rich. For you, it might be, probably you hate me because you're like, oh, naongea sana, you talk too much, shut up, right? You probably hate something. There's just something that you don't like based on your experience or your bad experience that you had. And all of us have bad experiences, by the way. It is kawaida for all of us. So don't feel like you're alone. It's just that the situations might be different, but trust me, your bad experiences, we have our own share of either similar or different. So how do you change that mindset? Okay, the first thing you're going to do is identify the friction. So where is the friction really? Where in your life are you feeling stuck? Because if you start there, you can actually now start and pick and say, oh, okay, so this is the issue, so this is the problem, right? Is it your career? Is it your health? What really is stuck, right? Let's start there. I'm going to give you a minute to think. I want you to think clearly, observe your life, look at it, and be like, okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing one, two, three things that are not really adding up. Do that. Okay, after you identify whatever that is, then we go to number two, find the because. So what is the reason I can't reach the next level? Because of why is this an issue? Why am I stuck here? Then write down the first thing that comes to your mind. For example, it's like, because I don't have an MBA, probably because I don't have a master's degree, that is why I'm not getting this opportunity. Yeah. So, what is your because? What is your reason as to why you feel stuck? Yeah. And I think for me, let me guys, I will be honest moving forward. For 7 years, I haven't been able to secure a permanent job, right? Where I can say that I'm getting resources, money like coming in. Yeah. So I was wondering why, why am I not really getting jobs? I'm applying, I'm doing everything, and I'm not. And it came to me by the way it is also my mindset. I'm like, I don't want to work. What is the point? What is the point of working hard and I hate wealth, you know? Yeah. Or you look for reasons why, and majority of us will always find a reason. And you know what, you're the best person to tell yourself the truth, because when you talk to yourself, you will know that by then this is the reason. And when you write that first thing that comes to mind, don't try to explain it, because if you try to explain it, then you lose the because. Okay, so find the because. So why are you feeling stuck? Okay, for those that are joining me right now, we are trying to descript this, deconstruct the script of limiting beliefs. And the first thing we've said is identify the friction. So why are you stuck? What in your life is stuck? Okay. Then the second thing is find the because. And when I mean find the because, is like I'm asking, so yeah, you've identified that is a problem. So why is it a problem? And then write that down. Okay. Then the second thing, the third thing you're gonna do is cross examination. So what are you going to do in that section of cross examining? It's just asking yourself, is this a fact or is it a script? And when I'm talking about facts and scripts, this is now where you need to tell yourself the truth. Okay, please be honest with yourself. No one will ever tell you the truth more than you. So ask yourself, is it a fact? Because, for example, now the example I've given, I'm stuck maybe, or I don't get jobs because I don't have a master's degree. And then I will ask myself, is it a fact or is it a script? And I'll be like, wait, it's not a fact. Guess why? Because majority of people that are working don't have master's degree. So it's a script, right? Very good. Then we go again. The scripts, if it is a script, then it is not a law of physics. It's something that actually can be worked on and changed. Senior, because if it's not a fact, it means that it's something that we can work on and be like, that is a problem, we need to change it, we need to work on it. Senior. Yeah. Then the last thing is calculate the cost. What has believing this particular script that you've been believing cost you in your life for the last 5 years? Okay, so you have been believing whatever it is that you're believing. You have identified and be like, okay, it is not truth. I have been believing this, but it's not true, right? What has it costed you for 5 years? And majority of it can be more. Like for me, I've said it's 7 years. For someone else, it can be 20. For someone else, it can be 30 years. It can be as long as, by the way, it is true, right? What has it costed you all those years? Has it costed you money? Has it costed you time? Has it costed you your peace? Because it has to have had a cost. So when you see the cost that that thing, that thought, that limiting belief has cost you, oh my, your brain will become more willing to now go and change and start to unlearn. Okay, because you will now be telling your brain, like, we have been believing this and it's a lie. So what is the truth? The truth is actually we can do it. Why do I feel like I can't do this thing? It's because of one, two, three things. I'm going to give you an example. I have my phone and I have been playing a lot of games. And when I'm playing games, I really like find a lot of comfort and ease in solving problems. And while I'm solving problems, I've noticed that the games at some point they tell you hard level. This is a hard one. So it's a game you're playing. But before you started playing the game itself has already told you that this is a hard level. You know what is going to happen? Because it has happened to me, is that you instantly believe that this is going to be hard, right? Yeah, if someone is going to tell you, you know what, this is not going to be easy, right? What you're going to feel is that you will either need a lot of effort because probably you will need to prove them wrong, or you decide, you know what, I'm actually not going to do it anymore because someone has already told me it's hard. So when I'm playing the game and I get to a level where they're telling me hard level, and sometimes the game tells you this is gonna be hard. I promise you, the first trial majority of the time we fail. The second trial majority of the time we fail. And then now because we have failed, the game told us it's hard. We believe that this level is hard, so I'm not gonna play anymore. Or sometimes it's gonna take you a number of rounds, you doing, losing a life, coming back again, failing, doing again, coming back again, and then finally, probably because of repetition, now you know, oh, I needed to do this better, I needed to do that better, and then now you come and find that you are now able to handle the game, right? But this is now what I did today while I was preparing. So I entered to one of the games that, for a while, I think I have played that particular level for I think a couple of times and failing. So I play, I fail, I play, I fail. Remember, in my head, I've already concluded because the game told me it's gonna be hard, so it's hard. And every time I fail, I actually agree with the fact that I know at this level is hard. Yeah. So I agree, I concur. I agree with the game. This is hard. So today, while I was preparing, I changed my mindset and I was like, yeah, it's hard. The game has made it, or whoever was planning the game has made it hard, but it's not going to be hard for me today. And while I was approaching a hard level, when the game told me hard level, I was like, yeah, I know it's hard because you feel it's hard, but it's not gonna be hard for me. I promise you that I have the score. I made the highest score of that level today, and I finished within like I think 2 minutes. Something that I was unable to do for almost a week. I used to play, fail, and agree with what the game told me. This is a hard level, right? So I changed my mind and I was like, yeah, I know it's hard. Probably it's gonna be hard for a lot of people, but today I'm making sure that it's not gonna be hard for me. And I played and it was so easy, I promise you. Yeah, it was challenging in terms of like, because it's a game where you like unwrap layers and everything. It was really difficult to like navigate. But because I told myself it's gonna be easy, I was just maneuvering and I spent very little time. In a hard level, I was even surprised when they were telling me, excellent, congratulations. When I was just unwrapping and peeling and peeling and peeling, and the game has a way of appreciating you. That is what I want you to always be telling yourself. It's true. But then there are so many things that are impossible to do, right? They're hard, they are whatever. People who probably tried told you that. I know a lot of people have told me that YouTube is hard. It's hard to manage how many channels. It is difficult. It cannot be done. It is impossible. Focus on one. Then once you build that, build another. Then from this, build that. Then that. Then that. Then I came and told myself, you know what? I don't want to listen to you. Not that I don't agree with you, but I feel like I can actually do this. I don't want to mix my niches. I want to separate them. So please allow me to do me because I don't feel like I need to follow your limiting beliefs. Is it hard? But then it's tasking. It's taking a lot. But I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna endure. I'm gonna go through the process because at the end of the day I need to enjoy the results and I need to encourage someone and tell someone, you know what, it is hard to do. A lot of people are not doing it my way. They're doing it the way now everyone else has been doing it, the way it has been passed on in the society, that you know what, build one brand, then from this brand diversify. Now I'm the type that I'm diversifying before I have a brand. Before nobody knows me, I'm going everywhere, and it's okay and it's allowed and it's a process and it's a way I decided to do it. So don't limit me just because you feel you can't do it. Are we together? Exactly. So you as well analyze. We have said that if it is a limiting belief, what can you do? Because let me tell you something. No one, no one will encourage you to change things. Everyone is like, that one you can't do, that one it's impossible. A couple of people have tried and they have failed. That is what they will tell you initially. The same way I've said, when you're starting to play a game and they tell you hard level, what are they doing? They're putting you a block, like they're trying to show you wacha kujifanya unajua ama unaweza. Yeah, for those that don't understand Swahili, I've just said they are trying to show you that don't act or pretend that you can do what other people have not been able to do. Let's analyze kidogo. Let's go back to history. We have all read the story of the Wright brothers when they were making or thinking or just in their head envisioning that, what, aeroplanes can fly, right? So let's go back to that era. Let's not talk from an era where we are actually seeing them fly, and some of us have boarded them and we have actually used them. Let's go back there, then, when they were excommunicated from church because people were like, you guys are witches. Witches are the ones who fly with brooms. So you want to fly metal? Are you stupid? Have you not studied physics? Your father is mad. You are mad. All of you are mad. Why would you think that metals will fly? These are people that are dreaming. These are people that actually see something that other people don't see yet. And it's true because no one has done it, right? They tried, they failed probably a couple of times. I don't think that they were able to manage it. But do you know, just because probably, I'm not very sure, I don't remember their story very well. All I know is that they received a lot of backlash, and that is what I'm trying to address today. You will be backlashed. People will always say, "Oh, you can't, you shouldn't, you will never, you can never." Don't do what other people are not doing, because if you do that one, you are blaspheming. You are doing. It feels like you're actually doing something wrong when you start to think for yourself, because society wants to always confide you in a particular box. I was very upset a couple of years back, and I remember I've also done this in one of my YouTube channels where I'm talking about success isn't what everyone considers success as. The society considers success as you driving, you living in a big palatial home, having a number of cars, probably having a private jet and all those things. And that is good. It's also an aspect of prospering, but it's not an aspect of success. Success is about mastering something and being good at it. So if you are good at Swahili, something that probably was new for you studied, you became good at it, you're successful because you have learned something from scratch, you're good at it, now you're a guru. Success is, I have decided by the, do you know, today I can call myself successful. Why? Because I made a commitment to do a live video. I am here doing one. Not only have I received one or two people come watch, I am actually in the process of almost finishing this particular live recording. What is that supposed to tell me? That there was actually a plan that was put in place, there was intention, and there was a goal at the end of the day. And guess what? When I finish this live recording, I have actually accomplished something. Now, me doing this live recording, when I am having less than 50 subscribers, which means I can't use my phone, I'm using my laptop, because when I do it on web, I can actually be live, right? But on my phone, I am limited because my phone, for me to go live, I need to have 50 subscribers. I don't have that yet in this particular YouTube channel. So if I am to quantify success based on the society, success to society will mean that I need to have a monetized channel that will pay me every time somebody views, after every 1,000 views. Then I will consider myself successful. And you see what that does? It's a good way because it motivates you to work harder to make sure that you're working towards that. But it is a limiting belief for someone who is actually putting effort in doing something. And because they have not been able to get to the views that are the so called desired number of subscribers and views, they will feel like I am not successful because I am not monetized. I am not successful, yet they are putting their effort, they are doing their research, they are doing their due diligence. They have actually come up with a posting schedule. They are interacting with whoever they are interacting with. Hey, and you're there. You are there limiting every guys. So if you consider success as what other people are calling success, then you will miss out on celebrating yourself, enjoying the growth, enjoying the small things that actually are important to you, just because someone said that successful people need to be monetized. Who said? Who said? Me, I feel successful today, and you cannot tell me anything, even whoever you are. Yeah, why? Because I know today, I did research concerning limiting beliefs. I came live, I'm doing a video. And you know what? At the end of the day, I have concluded a goal that I had. So I'm successful today. I'm good. I am happy. I am fulfilled because guess what? I have successfully done something, and I have done it with all my heart, and that gives me joy. Okay, so today I want you to change some of these societal things. It's okay. All of us want to be successful, and successful in the in the societal way, where we measure it based on what we have accumulated. But in the smallness and in the beginning of these things, I am successful because I am putting in effort, right? Yeah, so leave me to be successful in uploading content. Hi Jeff. Yeah, karibu sana. You're saying you just got in. It's funny. Okay, I don't know at which point you got in, but karibu sana. Yeah, so you found us. We are almost concluding. So when I'm talking about success, that is what I mean. And I will go back to those right brothers. Sindio, hey, you are witches, you are thieves, you are whatever. Because people had not yet sat down with themselves and asked themselves, these boys are saying something. Is this really practical? Is this really making sense? So then they came up with a vision. Probably they tried the physics, and it might not have made so much sense to them, maybe because yeah, they were not that well learned. But then coming forward, someone else is like, okay, wait, so maybe their structural aeroplane had a flaw here and there. Maybe that's why it didn't fly. I mean, that's why it didn't fly for long. So what can we change? I know a bit of physics. Let me see how I can actually build on to this vision, to build on to this thought, because it's actually making sense. Then a few people now are bringing in input, but you want to tell me the right brothers were not successful just because they are not the ones who now made the modern Boeings that we see. Then they just came up with the idea. But guess what? While we are enjoying all this, there was someone who was criticized. There was someone that was laughed at because they thought that people could fly and like we could meet. You know? So, whatever it is that you're envisioning now, please, do it. Don't let people limit you because okay. Sometimes I know I'm human. By the way, I listen. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it's hard. I get those times, but I told myself in 2026, no one is going to put me down. Don't you wait, don't try. It takes a lot of effort to do YouTube content creation. It's not easy. And me, I don't like doing makeup, so I won't do it. If you don't want to watch my video, go away. And that is me. Yeah. Once in a while I will glam up and do whatever, but the whole time I'm like, okay, me, I don't feel like doing it, and I won't. Because if now I start doing that, then I feel like it's exhausting. It's not who I am. It's not the authentic me. Yeah, if you don't like me without makeup, go and watch those ones that have yellow, red lipstick. It's fine. But then that's not me. You get where I'm coming from or what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm not trying to brag or justifying anything or whatever. I'm just trying to say that sometimes we need to be authentic with ourselves. It's okay that people won't like you, and I know not everybody will. I know not everybody will like what I do. I know not everybody will like me, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I won't compromise on me just to please people, especially those ones that don't like me, because probably then they will make me do makeup because now I want to please them. If I please them, then I miss to do what I'm authentically supposed to do just because I'm trying to follow trends. Or because you're in the spotlight, you need to always be glammed up. Are you seeing the pressure that women in our society have? Because they have belly, because they have this meat, and now they are in the public space, but they feel like I need to look like a Barbie doll. I need to look some type of way. Yeah, because now I have views. I feel like these people want me to look this way. So I am going to put all my effort in changing this because I want the package to look some type of way. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Me, I'm okay. I'm fine. If you don't like my saggy meat, if you don't like, you go, and I'm okay. It's fine. I'm good. Society sometimes can really cause you to be exhausted. Do not allow society to exhaust you. Aya, sawa. Aya, let us talk about reprogramming. We have identified the problem. We know where the issue is. Now we are coming to the end. We are talking about reprogramming, okay? Once the old script is deleted, because of course we're gonna delete based on whatever you've analyzed, and you're like, this one is causing me not to move forward. So it's like you cannot leave that space where that was occupying empty. Yeah. So once that old habit is gone, it's now high time you install the growth narrative, where you're like, okay, I need to grow. I am too young. The old script was telling you, I am too young. I don't need to start now. I am too old to start to do this. I can't do this. Yeah. Those scripts that are old. So we change them with new growth narratives. Narratives like, my unique age gives me a perspective that the market is currently missing. Okay, so instead of saying hiyo time yangu ilipita, ni kitu naweza taka kufanya but sitafanya, it's now you sitting down with yourself and telling yourself, you know what, I feel like, because I know I have been around, and I didn't do it when I was 20, I didn't do it when I'm 30. Now that I'm 40, I'm going to do it because I feel like my age, I will even be more focused. When I get money, I won't squander it with girls. I won't go out to Mombasa. I will treat myself, yes, but at least now I'm wiser. So I'm gonna do this because I feel like I will be more motivated to actually achieve, because I will have the advantage of I'm a bit older and I'm working against people who are younger. So I'm gonna put more effort. Tuko pamoja. Yeah. So growth narrative is changing that old script, and using the right mindset to tell yourself that you can actually do this, and encourage yourself every day. For you to actually grow, you need to encourage yourself. I'm a plant mom. I have plants. And when you plant a plant in the soil and you leave it, yeah, it's like what we're talking about, installing new software. If you don't water that plant with water, which of course carries like oxygen and a bit of nutrients that the plant needs, or you add a few fertilizer here and there once in a while, you prune the weeds that come to also take some of the nutrients from the soil, and the plant needs to really be taken care of. Sindo. So if you don't do that, the plant was once thriving, or it will thrive for a while. So if you don't change your software completely and replace, you will look as if you're growing. But no sooner will you now go back to your old ways. So that's how the plant now begins to die. If you don't water it, if you don't tend to it, if you don't take care of it, it's gonna die. It won't sprout. It won't give you new leaves. It won't give you another plant that will grow aside there kando yake. You will not enjoy the beauty of that plant. So it's the same with your mind. If you don't nurture it, by telling yourself. Now, when I'm talking about fertilizers, I mean like you just intentionally speaking to yourself. There's one thing I listened to Miles Monroe say, and I think that transformed me completely. Let me come closer to you so that I tell you. So I was listening to Miles Monroe a while back in terms of like how you change your mindset, and he said something very powerful that stuck with me. Every time you tell yourself, especially if there's what you know and your reality is negative. Let me use people who are poor, right? People that are living in the ghetto. Every time you tell yourself, I'm going to be wealthy, I'm going to live in Runda, or I'm going to go abroad or something, and I'm going to one day own a house somewhere in Hollywood, your brain laughs at you because it does not reconcile how you will come out of the ghettos and go and achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. But he said something powerful. Instead of telling yourself, I'm going to go and live in Hollywood, every day, tell yourself something positive that is working. It's like you're working your brain in a journey of transformation. So it's like, I'm living in the somewhere, probably in Kenya. We have so many slums. So allow me to use where I talked about where we used to live when I was younger, in Huruma. Okay, and you're in Huruma, you're living in a single room. Yes, your dream is to become this amazing thing. And if possible, please have it, draw it, have it envisioned somewhere, right? So it's not instant for you to go there. It's going to take time, it's going to take energy, it's going to take a lot of intentional building towards that. But walk your mind slowly into the reality and into the believing of that. So the first thing you can do is go for a visit. Pick one of the posh areas that you feel like, oh, probably that is where I'm manifesting. This is where I want to go. Dress well, look nice, look sharp. Because I know in the level you are at and the level you're envisioning to go, you know how people in that level either dress or look or behave, or even if it's a character you wear, there's a way you will wear, even if you don't have those good clothes, but you wear that character and you imagine yourself like a CEO, you know what, and you go and you walk and you walk and you go to that place. Yeah, you go to Runda, you go to Karen, you go to wherever you go there, go. And then you walk majestically in those estates. Start seeing yourself there while you're there. Don't dream while you are in your single room. It might not be very realistic for your mind, and your mind will begin to doubt you, and your mind will laugh at you. There are things I used to tell myself in my head in my former life. Let me call it former because I'm a renewed being in 2026. And I used to laugh at myself and I'm like, Marion, you're stupid. Ah, how do you think what gives you the audacity to think you can do that, whatever it is that you want to do? So I used to laugh at myself. But then I did something like that. There's this particular time I dressed up, I promise you, and I dressed my husband up, and I was like, let's go for a visit. Let's just go out. And we came out of our small place in Umoja, and we went all the way to Runda. Yeah, we did. And we entered into those estates. Now, I did not know for you to visit a house or do a house what? Is it a house tour or whatever? You going to just check out a house, you need to book an appointment. Because uku kwetu ghetto, in the ghettos you just show up and the house is open, or the caretaker is just around roaming there. So you just like, I want to see the house. Let me open the door. I want to check it. But then on this other side of town, you see houses by appointment. I didn't know. So here we are going to Runda thinking that we're just gonna go to open houses and we're gonna check it. But it was hard. But this is the one thing that I learned. It's good sometimes to be wise. So what I did is I was like, okay, we live here. We are not going to check houses. We live here. Okay? We do what? We live here. Sawa. And we acted like we are doing a walk of sorts. It's not like we don't know where we are going because we don't know. We don't know. Mwah. Hey, we are just there. For main door, for main gate, the first thing we did, we just entered as if we know where we are going, or we live there, or we are going to visit someone. So, no registration, nothing. Because if they ask me where I'm going, where will I say I'm going? I'm going nowhere. I don't know nobody there. So I came, and I don't want you to hinder me from dreaming. So I just went. I didn't tell anybody. We didn't tell them at oh, we are going here and there. No, we stood there. We're like, yeah, hi, wakubwa, habari zenyu. We said hi to the gate man, and we entered that particular estate. Now I think Runda is too estate-ish. It's too estate-ish. So the first main gate we entered, and then there were now it was like branching to different estates, and some of them were connected, but not all of them. I think they were not. So this is what we did, because we didn't want to look like we were lost. We went to the extreme end, yeah, walking slowly and then checking out. Of course, most of the gates you would see some of the houses looking like they're being built, or like others that are saying they're empty and all that. Yeah, so we checked. Sawa. And while we were observing, I noticed an empty house, and I was like, you know what, I need to check this house out. And because already we had tried in a few other places, and we were told, no, you didn't book an appointment, book your appointment now, then come later. And I'm looking at this person and I'm asking myself, you don't know that it took me an arm and a leg to actually find fare? Okay, it just took a lot for me to get transportation to be here. Yeah, and I didn't just come, I didn't use matatu, I came with a taxi. Guys, I promise you, I'm telling you, it is sometimes just daring yourself. I don't. So this man is telling me to book an appointment, go and then come back again. Where am I going to waste money again to do an Uber again so that I can come and see the house? It's okay, I'm dreaming, but hey, it won't cost me. So I'm like, you go away. We went, did some rounds, nini, nini, and then we found a particular house where people who had booked an appointment were entering to go see. Yeah, good. You're good students and you're following. We entered with them. I'm like, yeah, we are with them. I wait, what? We are with them, and it was discovered that we were not. But at least we had now at least entered the house and all that. And sometimes when you get into that space, when you see yourself in those spaces, your mind begins to resonate with where you want to go. Apart from that, I went now. I with Runda, I went with my husband. Then I went to Lavington alone. I was studying around that area, and while I was studying there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be every time I go to school, and probably we go and we leave early. I'm gonna be checking some houses out, and I used to go and just go and be like, I need to see this house, and I was so detailed because I'm trying to be very intentional. So I'm like, I know what I'm looking for, because those are things that I want to be a priority. Hey, so I am asking the right questions. And these guys, even when they're asking, even when they're responding, even when they're telling me, they don't know that I'm coming from the slums. They don't know that I'm in the ghettos. But then I'm like, yeah, I need to see the house. And when I'm going to see the house, maybe I have very good English. And because I know that we will finish early that day, I will dress up better than normal. I would do, because I want to smell nice, I want to look nice, so that the person that is receiving me and showing me the house will respect me, will respect my person. Yeah. And I go and I'm like, yeah, I need to see the house. And I'm asking, hey, I remember there was this time I challenged not only me but also a few of my girls that we were together, my friends, and we were like, let's go and check that house. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, I had planned to meet the caretaker that day because I had booked an appointment with him the previous day. But with this particular time, I wasn't worried because booking an appointment wasn't hard because I was going there almost every other day. So it wasn't an issue. So I went. I booked an appointment with him. I called and he told me to come a particular time. So when we were going back, I remembered and I told my girls, Jackie, I need to check a house here. Do you want to follow me? And they were like, no, why? And they were surprised that I'm going to check out the house. But then I went. I'm like, yeah, I need to see the house. And I entered. And I told them, come, let's go and you check the house with me. And we went and we checked out the house. We loved it. We asked questions. We were so keen. We were so interested that the guy almost thought that he was closing the deal. And then we asked, how much is the house per month? Yeah. And we were told it's 500,000. Yo, and it's 500,000, and now there are other expenses, like security fee was something like 20 g's. Garbage for them is like, I think, another 3,000, or I don't know, whatever, while I'm paying 200. Man, man, man. We were calculated for. And while we were in the matatu now going home, we were just there talking, and we were like, can you imagine that there is someone who is actually affording that amount of money, and it's not a struggle for them? Can you imagine someone who is paying, that is rent, they are paying rent that amount? How much will they spend on food? How much will they spend now, because they are living in Lavington? The schools that they will take their children is even expensive. So we were just trying to figure out, for you to live there, how much do you need as income so that you can be living there and be comfortable, right? And we were just there talking and talking and talking. And that is how you open your mind, guys. That is how you allow your mind to dream with you. It becomes a part of the journey. So when now you start to dream again alone, or you get the opportunity now to be thinking of the things you can do and be, then your mind is able to reconcile with what you're saying, because it has seen what you're envisioning. Okay, so that is how you actually do the reprogramming. Okay, for some of you that are shy, it is sitting with someone who is not shy. It is about you looking at someone, staying around someone who is what you want to be, and then you're like, oh, okay, so this is what I need to be, this is what I need to be doing, this is how loud I need to be. That is how you reprogram your mind. Okay, and it's gonna be amazing, guys. You guys are gonna be great. You're gonna do amazing stuff. So I know I have been here talking for more than an hour. I think now it's, yeah, I think it's how long? How long have we been together, guys? Maybe let me check, because I was also looking at some of the things. Yeah, it's been 1 hour, 20 minutes. So I am so happy that you guys got the opportunity to join me. This is the growth space. Yeah. Are you feeling enlightened? Are you feeling better? Is the topic of discussion helpful to you? Yeah, would you recommend us to someone? Please do recommend us to someone that you feel like they need a mind shift, because the growth space is about changing you as a person. It's about challenging some of the things that you think you know, and then trying to ensure that you become the best version of yourself, right? So that is what we're all about, just making sure that you become your authentic self. And the best way of doing that is now forgetting some of these things that you have fed from the family, from the friends, from the background, from the environment, and begin to see yourself as who you feel like God intentionally intended you to be originally, right? Yeah, so thank you so much for your time. My name is Marion Mikali Ndongo, and this is the growth space. See you on the next live. Mwah!